What's up, guys? This is Seville, here with another Marvel Legends action figure review. Today, I'm going to be talking about War Machine Mark 6 and Rescue from the second wave based on Avengers Endgame. If you can give me just a few more seconds, I'll have both of these figures out of their packages. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now that both of these figures are out of their boxes, I'm going to give them another full rotation on the spinner, that way you can see them all the way around. These figures have started popping up in Walmart, Target, and GameStop stores, but for now, they still seem pretty scarce and hit or miss. To aid in your hunt, here are the barcodes for each figure, starting with War Machine here on the left, and then Rescues on the right. These figures are listed on Amazon, but they're not going to be released until July 15th. In case you're unaware, the 15th and 16th of July will be Amazon's special Prime Day, in which they'll be offering many deals exclusively for Prime members. It's kind of like their Black Friday. And because of these special days, they seem to be holding off on releasing a lot of Marvel Legends figures, including this wave, as well as the Spider-Man Far From Home wave. And now, on to the review. War Machine has definitely gotten a lot more bulky and massive compared to what he was before. He went from becoming a bit more streamlined than he was in the beginning, to now being even bigger than he started off as. The bulk of the figure is definitely strong, sturdy, and solid. It is a brand new and highly detailed sculpt with all the different little parts of the armor, whether it's little bolts, different plates, everything sculpted very well. The only other War Machine figure I own is the Mark III from the Civil War Target exclusive 2-pack. I do want to show them side by side for the remainder of this portion of the review, just so you can see how different they really are. I will say that one thing that's kind of weird to me is the shape of the jaw from the side profile like this. Sometimes when it comes to the armored characters like this, I really kind of wonder exactly how the human would fit inside of it. It doesn't seem like the width of the shoulders on the Mark VI would really match up with how they fit on the Mark III. But anyway, I'm getting off topic a little bit and kind of starting to ramble. So, back to the figure, it does look really good. And I do like how all the military stamps and code numbers carried over from one figure to the next. It really is impressive just how much detail went into the Mark VI. And with that said, let's move on to taking a closer look at Rescue. And much like with War Machine before, this is a totally new figure, not reusing any parts that I'm aware of, especially since this is the Rescue Armor's first appearance in the MCU. Pepper Potts herself has had one figure in the past, but it was part of an Amazon exclusive 3-pack based on Iron Man 3. As far as this figure goes, as usual, it is detailed very, very well, with lots of sculpted lines showing each piece of the armor as well as great paint apps. On the backside here, this piece just comes off from being plugged into that hole there. And then you plug in the other backpack piece to show all the different flaps being opened, which would typically be done during flight to help control the armor. If you're also a DC guy, kind of like me, it might remind you of Blue Beetle. One detail I really do like is on the top side of the open flaps, the labels that say Rescue and 0049 are still there in place where they would be on her back. Overall, I really do like how this figure looks. There's really nothing else appearance-wise that I think I could have asked for. However, I do have a complaint that would apply to both figures, in that I really wish they'd each come with unmasked heads. Enough about that for now though. Instead, let's take a look at them side by side with other MCU characters, such as Iron Man, Iron Spider, Power and Glory Captain America, Ronin, and just to throw some villains in here, Cull Obsidian, and Ebony Maw. And now, while they're stripped down of all their accessories, I'll go through their articulation. Starting with War Machine. The head does move a little up and down as well as side to side, but the bulkiness of the armor surrounding it does hinder it. The shoulders do spin all the way around as well as move backwards, and the biceps also have full rotation. The elbows are only single jointed and don't quite reach 90 degrees, but they do have rotation in place of that. The wrists also have full rotation, along with the peg for up and down movement. The torso is on a ball joint, so it doesn't really have any crunch motion, but it does turn side to side, almost all the way up until it hits more of the armor. The hips have a decent amount of range sideways, and there is a thigh cut underneath the armor for full rotation. The knees are double jointed and actually fold over really, really well. And finally, the ankles do have some up and down movement as well as a pivot, but it is very, very hindered by the armor. And now it's Rescue's turn. Her neck peg is a lot more free and mobile, giving a much greater range of up and down movement and complete rotation side to side. Her shoulders do have the full range of motion all the way around, as well as moving backwards. Her biceps also have full rotation, and the double jointed elbows fold really well. Her wrists are on pegs that would have a great range of motion on their own, but the armor plating above her hand does hinder it a lot. Rescue's torso is also on a ball joint, but it offers a lot more motion than War Machine, with a little bit of back and forth crunch action as well as full rotation. Unfortunately, Rescue's hips are another place where the armor gets in the way, so it doesn't go very far. Even front to back isn't all that great. Even the thigh cut rotation can be hindered by the armor, depending on which angle you have it at. However, her double jointed knees do fold pretty well. And finally, her ankles do have some good front to back motion as well as a pivot. So with all that said, let's run War Machine and Rescue through my guidelines for a complete and fair review. Each of these figures do use brand new sculpts that are highly detailed and incredibly screen accurate. Even though some of the articulation is a bit restricted, they each do still meet my 20-point requirement. They are both in scale with the other MCU Marvel Legends, and they did balance pretty well during this recording. They did each have accessories, and I didn't really have any quality control issues with either one. The roughly $20 price point is fair for Marvel Legends, but accessibility might be an issue until that July 15th date has passed. So for now, each of these figures do reach a 9 out of 10 star rating, meaning they are outstanding and some of the best of the year. So if you're an MCU collector, I highly recommend adding these figures to your shelves. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video,
get over here!
And subscribe to Civilian Collectibles.